don't come to me with a problem. Don't ever come to me with a problem. Now, some of you are probably raising your eyebrows right now and going, what? That sounds horrible. Let me finish, okay? The culture is anyone can come to me with a problem. I pay you to come with me with a problem and, hey boss, here's a solution. Anytime there's an issue, boss, here is an issue that we have had. We got together as a team. Here's what we came up with. We like option B. What are your thoughts? As a manager of people, it is a lot easier to revise than it is to create. And that's the kind of culture I want, when individuals are coming up with solutions rather than just hitting you with boss is a problem, boss is a problem. Hello everyone, welcome to the Now What podcast. My name is Glenn Sharp. I'm the President and CEO of Sharp Leadership Development. Welcome to episode 29. It is 76 degrees in Cincinnati. I just played golf today, so I am in a good mood. For you golfers out there, hit them straight. Hope you guys are having fun out there in this awesome weather. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the two-part series with Justin Colby and the Entrepreneur DNA. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead and check out episodes 26 and 27. They're fantastic. I think he did a great job, and we really got into some cool stuff. Okay, so with that being said, let's get into today's coaching topic. We're going to get back on that horse. We got a question from Keith in Dayton. He's talking about accountability. How do I hold my people accountable? But also, what kind of mindset do I really need to carry that out effectively? All right, so welcome to the war there, Keith. You and every other manager out there probably feels the same way. How do I hold my folks accountable? So understand one thing, I love the visual of the shoulder pads. If you guys recall, we did an episode on stress management where those shoulder pads are really stress, and to take those shoulder pads off. Well, the shoulder pads carry a different meaning as well, or an additional meaning as well. Imagine those shoulder pads are accountability, and then rather than the manager continuously putting the onus on himself or herself, you take those shoulder pads off and put the onus onto your direct reports. So I'm going to give you plenty of examples of this, but for whatever reason, managers think they have to do it all. And the basic premise behind this is if I'm really doing well as a team, if we are really operating and firing all cylinders, everyone is doing their part. It's not just the manager's job to do all the work. If everybody does a little bit, life is good. If one or two people have to do everything, life sucks, and you know it, okay? So take those shoulder pads off and place the onus of responsibility and accountability on to your direct reports. So let's talk about some examples. So Keith, this is for you, my man. All right, this is you and I talking in the coaching room. How many times have you gotten that phone call? Boss, what do I do? Now, Keith, you and I have talked about this. You train them. They demonstrated proficiency to you. You know they can do the job, yet when you're off work, when you're having dinner with your family, when you're on vacation, they still call you. Right there, you're at a crossroads. Right there. You can either give them the answer. In short term, it is obviously going to work out. But long term, all that's going to do is embolden them to continue to call you. So what do you do? What do you do if they keep calling you? This is where you have a conversation with your direct report and let them know, do not call me on this subject anyway. Make sure that you make the decision. If you are a manager, if you're a supervisor, this is your decision to make. So when you call me, I'm literally going to ask you, what do you think you should do? Right? And have them answer that question. Right? That's accountability right there. Another part two of that would be, listen, you know you're trained on this. I'm not going to answer this question. Go ahead and make the decision. Right? It's nothing personal, but you've got to do this for yourself. This is where it is unbelievably important to make sure that they take this by the horns, that these guys make sure that they understand they are responsible for this. Okay, example number two is something that you set early with your team. This would be having a meeting with your team and developing a culture on your team. So here's the way the culture would work. Don't come to me with a problem. Don't ever come to me with a problem. Now, some of you are probably raising your eyebrows right now and going, what? That sounds horrible. Let me finish, okay? The culture is anyone can come to me with a problem. I don't pay supervisors, I don't pay high-level individuals to come with me with a problem. I pay you to come with me with a problem and, hey boss, here's a solution. So here's the way it would work, okay? Anytime there's an issue, boss, here's an issue that we have had. We got together as a team. Here's what we came up with. We like option B. What are your thoughts? As a manager of people, it is a lot easier to revise than it is to create. And that's the kind of culture I want, when individuals are coming up with solutions rather than just hitting you with boss is a problem, boss is a problem. And very often, Keith, this is you. You know this is you. All right, you just take it on yourself. Just give it to me, put it on my desk, I'll take care of it. And that is obviously a huge issue, right? You are basically speaking to them without saying a word. If you bark loud enough, if you come to me with a problem, I will always just take it on you. And they will always give it to you, right? And that has to change. So the final example here is really when you reach the pinnacle of management. This is just my opinion, but I think when you really reach the height of a great manager, your people actually come to you with ideas. Now that takes work, obviously. You obviously have to meet with these guys individually and talk to them about culture. Obviously, if you have an individual on your team that carries a bigger stick than others, meaning they have a lot of influence, right? They've been there longer, or people just tend to gravitate toward them. They have a specialized knowledge. Whatever it is, I want my people to get together without me. And I know that sounds very strange for some managers, especially you managers, Keith, I'm talking to you, who have control issues, all right? It's okay. Have them work on things, work on problems on their own. They'll be more vulnerable with each other. They'll have less formal conversation. They'll start to bond as a team without you. And then they come to you, hey boss, we have an idea. Now this is proactive solutions I'm talking about. It could be working out a problem, but I want them ahead of the game. I want them next level. What's next? What's next? What's next? Constantly asking them to continuously give me ideas for continuous improvement. So that could mean streamlining processes. That could mean coming up with a brand new product or service, whatever. I want these guys to rely on each other, not just rely on me. That's a strong team. All right, and that's what I want for you, Keith. This is what accountability looks like. Everybody talks about accountability. It's a big word in corporate America, but when it comes to holding people accountable, these are specific examples of how you hold your people accountable. It's a culture, it's a mindset, and it has to be embedded in your team. So I hope this helps you guys. There's so much to accountability. We'll obviously attack this topic more and more as the podcast episodes continue. But one of the things I want you guys to remember is the book. In this book, there's a lot of tips, tricks, and ideas, especially on accountability. And Keith, I gave you a copy of this, and you know this is in this book. For those of you that are not privy to this, this is me coaching Johnny. Johnny is a brand new manager of people. He was a kick-ass mechanic, and because he was so good at being a mechanic, they made him manager mechanics. Now what? We all have probably gone through this where you go from individual contributor to manager and you are no longer turning wrenches like Johnny. Now he's doing management things. So if you have a employee that aspires to become a manager or a brand new manager out there, I invite you to pick up this book. It'll be a great resource for them and you to kind of go over with the employee. It's a perfect way to get their career as a manager off to a great start. So we're going to tackle something pretty cool in episode 29. I get a lot of pushback from my classes in regards to the dreaded Gen Zs. Yes, I said it, Gen Zs. Okay, these are the folks that are in college right now. They're in high school. The next generation is nipping at their heels. But I can't tell you how many managers out there have told me the following. Glenn, I can't manage these guys. They're different. You know, you can't. They're not accountable. They're not hard workers. It's that generation. Do you really think that? If you do, you're going to be especially interested in this two-part series that I'm about to create. And that is, we're going to have a roundtable discussion. I'm going to have a couple of Gen Zs here in the studio, and we're going to hear from them. They're going to tell you what they think, how they feel like they're misrepresented, what they're looking for in a boss, what they're looking for in a company. Let me give you an example just as kind of a teaser, all right? My daughter, who will be one of the two attendees, Paulina, she's that kind of person. She will work her butt off for you, but if you don't treat her right, bye, okay? She's got options, and she will exercise those options if you don't have your act together. And there have been several cases that her and I have laughed about. We laugh about it now, but it kind of sucked going through. But we laughed about it because she literally on day one, they weren't organized, they didn't treat her well. It was a hot mess, and she did not come back to work. Now, I'm sure the ownership and management team of this coffee shop was like, oh, these Gen Zs, see, these Gen Zs don't want to work. It wasn't because she didn't want to work. It was because you're a hot mess. Your training program is terrible, and you treat people like garbage. She is a barista, and she's very talented at that, and she can go anywhere. Why would she stay? So you're going to hear from these guys, and I think it's going to be an eye-opener for you. I have special insight into this because I'm still a professor at the University of Cincinnati, so I have a ton of Gen Zs. I love them to death, and they are so surprisingly awesome, especially as compared to the stigma out there in the real world. So we look forward to episode 29. I think you guys are going to love it. With that being said, I wish you the best of luck in your management leadership journey, and I'll see you guys in episode 29.